Hello viewers, this is Not Too Fast here. In today's video I will be rotating the tires on this 2019 Honda Odyssey. This is the first tire rotation on this vehicle. It now has 7,000 miles. Now typically it's recommended that you rotate your tires every 5,000 to 7,000 miles. Since these are the original tires on this vehicle, if you take it to the dealer and have them rotated, you need to pay for that service. So I'll be doing this work myself today. Now the tire rotation that I'll be doing today is swapping the back wheel with the front one and then putting the front one onto the back. So I'll need to raise one side of the vehicle and put it on jack stands. Before I raise the front end, I'll put a wheel chock on the back wheel. Now if you look underneath the front of the vehicle, there's a location where you can place your jack right here. Jack up the vehicle. Before you lift the tire off the ground, you can use a breaker bar like this to loosen the lug nuts. Now you don't want to remove the lug nuts, but just loosen it, because once you have the tire off the ground, the wheel will want to spin. It might be more difficult to loosen the lug nuts. If you're using an impact wrench, then you can lift the tire off the ground and you'll still be able to remove all the lug nuts. On this Honda, I'll be using a 22mm socket to remove the lug nuts. Go ahead and lift up the front of the car. Place a jack stand underneath the jacking point of the vehicle. And on this vehicle, it's right here. Now you'll notice I place a jack stand more towards the back of this jacking point, because when I lower the vehicle, it's going to slide back and you want to make sure it doesn't fall off the jack stand. Slowly lower the vehicle onto the jack stand. And also check to make sure the jack stand is underneath the jacking point. Let me show you where the vehicle rested on the jack stand. If you remember, we started over here. After I lower the car, it's in this position right here. Let's go underneath the back of the vehicle. Right in the middle, there's also a jacking point you can use right next to the exhaust. Now it's quite far in, so I'll see if I can get my jack underneath it. As you can see, I've placed it right underneath that jacking point. Again, before you completely get the rear tire off the ground, you can loosen the lug nuts. Place your jack underneath the rear jacking point. Raise your jack. Now slowly lower the vehicle down to the jack stand. Now at this point I'm going to leave the jack in that position right there. So right now we have one side of the vehicle safely supported by two jack stands. And now we can remove the wheel. To speed up the removal of the lug nuts, I'll be using this cordless electric impact gun. While I have the wheel off, and this vehicle is fairly new, let me show you something I like to do, which will make future brake job a lot easier. On Honda vehicles, there's a Phillips screw right here that's used to hold the rotor in place. And after a couple of years of driving, that screw typically is rusted on pretty tight. So what I'll do is remove this screw right now, put some anti-seize on it, and then reinstall it. If a screw is stuck on, you can use an impact screwdriver like this. And this is the wheel from the front. Now I'll be installing it onto the back. Put the lug nuts on by hand. Now I will use my impact to drive the lug nuts down, but I will not be using this to tighten it. Right now this is set to the lowest torque setting. Here's the back wheel being installed onto the front. Now depending on the wheel you have, if you're able to, take a peek at the back side of the wheel, make sure it's seated squarely onto the rotor. You can also spin it and make sure it is on properly, it's not wobbling. Now we can raise the back end and remove the jack stand. Slowly lower the back end of the vehicle until the tire touches the ground. With the tire on the ground, I no longer can turn this wheel. Use a torque wrench and set this to 94 foot-pounds. Right there is 94 foot-pounds. I also forgot I had these lug nut sockets, and these are pretty cool because there's a plastic sleeve around the side so it won't scratch your wheel. After you tighten one lug, you want to move your wrench to the opposite side. And that's it. Now you can lower the back end all the way down. Now we'll jack the front back up and then remove the jack stand. Again, lower the vehicle until the tire touches the ground. Tighten the lug nuts to 94 foot-pounds. Now we can lower the rest of the car. Don't forget to remove the wheel chock at the back and repeat the same procedure on the other side. I just finished rotating the wheel on the other side. Now before you call this done, you need to check the tire pressure, make sure it's correct, and that's what I'll do right now. If you look at the driver's side door jamb, you'll find a sticker that tells you how many PSI on this vehicle. It's 36 PSI for front and rear tire. .3 36. Now on this 2019 Honda Odyssey, if you want, you can reset the tire rotation notification. On the steering wheel, press the home button, scroll down to maintenance, press enter, go down to oil life, press enter, press and hold the enter button for about 10 seconds. Now scroll down until you get to item 1. Item 1 is for tire rotation. Press enter. So now the tire rotation notification has been reset. Press the back button to exit. Well, I hope you enjoy watching this video. If you want to rotate your tires on your vehicle, I hope you found this video to be informative. Now, if you're interested in getting some of the tools I used in this video, I'll include those links in the description below. Thank you for watching, and remember to click on the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.